Hey everybody, Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables bringing you another adventure table idea, and this is the Forest of Blackstone in the Underdark. The Forest of Blackstone in the Underdark. The net of it is basically the heroes are trying to get to this location right here in the center of this ever swirling, basically whirlpool. The waters are constantly turbulent. No one really knows why, if it's some kind of a curse or dark magic or it's a natural event, but nobody understands why. But the waters are constantly churning very violently in this one area in the Underdark. But at the center of it, there's basically a hive that has a whole bunch of eggs on it, and it's basically owned or created by a nest of these flying insect-like creatures that are very territorial and hostile. But if you are able to get to it, if you are able to make it to the nest and fight off the creatures and get some of the eggs intact, the eggs themselves, the yolk from it, are supposed to have these incredible healing properties where it could get rid of any disease. It might even be able to grow back a limb. There are whispered legends that people who've even been recently dead have been brought back to life by giving them the yolk elixir from these eggs. So the eggs are worth a tremendous amount, but of course you've got to get to them. And the last step along the journey is to fight these insect-like creatures that are unique. They're not found anyplace else, so they've got all kinds of tricks up their sleeves that the players may not be used to or aware of. And that's where you'd want to add in, depending on the game system you use, different types of boss-style mechanics to it. Maybe instead of just flying, they also just teleport. Or maybe they're able to dive in under the water and they can basically be invisible and then pop up someplace else and make an attack at advantage. Things like that, whatever you want to come up with, basically. But before you can get to there, you have to go through the Forest of Blackstone. And it's basically a maze for all practical purposes, but it's a natural maze where the players have to go through it for maybe days on end. And that maze in the Underdark, of course, has all kinds of challenges. They might run across a patrol of dark elves that are going around through the Underdark looking for people to capture as slaves for their empire. They could come across basically a nest of Drider. Normally they're very solitary creatures, but in this particular area, and maybe it has something to do with the nearness of that ever-churning pool of waters, but for some reason they're working together, and so there's a whole nest of Drider that are actually working together that it can ambush players as they go through basically through the maze of the dark stones. And of course there's always the displacer beasts, whole packs of them that are hunting around, and as you know, with displacer beasts, they're several feet away from where they appear to be, so it makes fighting them extremely difficult. And any other number of creatures that may be there. So the way you'd play this, of course, is you just move your characters along anywhere through these areas, and it's not necessarily, again, like I've said in previous ones, contiguous. It doesn't mean that you travel up this thing here and that's it, you're through the forest. You might have them start here and have an encounter in this location, and then maybe move them over to this location and have something else happen. But that could be like several hours or days later. Days being a sort of a vague term in the Underdark because there are no days, so to speak. But another full rest later, or several full rests later. And so that's what happens. And basically lots of random encounter tables where you roll to see whether or not they encounter anything, and if they do, what it might be, and kind of spring those on them. And then you can either have it a certain number of rests and travel that they make it, or a certain number of encounters. Anything like that will basically will get you there. So as far as building this is concerned, there's a number of pieces in play. So the water is all from Monster Fight Club. This right here, that's all Monster Fight Club, and that's their river terrain trays. Those things are awesome. I can't recommend them enough. All around it, you can see the kind of these purplish pieces here are not naturally purple. These are actually WizKids Caverns tile sets, including these pieces here. A lot of these, stalactites or stalagmites, I should say, stalagmites. All those pieces all the way around the edge. That's all WizKids Caverns. I just had them repainted like a purplish, dark gray type color to match the Underdark. Same thing with these pieces up here. These large pieces that the players would have to balance and jump their way across in order to make it to the center of the island. Those are all from WizKids. They're fantastic. So that's those things. But again, they've been painted up. This battle mat, I can't remember where I got it from, but I got it specifically to be basically an Underdark battle mat because it's got a lot of purples and like dark blues and charcoal grays and stuff. And I basically hired somebody to paint up these tile sets from WizKids to sort of match the set of this battle mat, so it would all blend in. And then the rest of it is, for the most part, all Monster Fight Club. And these are basically just their hills. And I got a number of their hill sets unpainted. These guys, like this right here, these are that's an unpainted one, not that little piece. That's an unpainted Monster Fight Club hill set. And I could literally, because it's a charcoal gray type color, I just leave those just like that. But then I had another few sets of them that I had painted up with some purple highlight tones to it. And if I set them side by side, you can clearly see the difference between them. But so some of them are just the pure dark, charcoal gray, and then other ones are like this. And by having painted up like that, and that way, when you put them out on the table, you get a certain amount of variety. It doesn't all look like the same thing, and yet it still blends because one of them is the one color, the charcoal gray, and the other sets are multicolored, both the charcoal gray and the purple colors that are picked up off of the battle mat. To be honest, I cannot remember where I got the battle mat from, and it's not written on the battle mat, but I would say like Deep Cut Studios or one of those is more than likely going to be the case. But I think it's Deep Cut Studios. This is a neoprene mat, and it's 6 foot by 4 foot. As far as that's concerned, I love the neoprene. When I pulled this mat out again to use it, it had been sitting at the bottom of my mat barrel there, so it was kind of wrinkly. Man, I just threw that thing in the dryer, in the steam de-wrinkle, whammo. Just for about 20 minutes or whatever it was, and beautiful. Laid it out, got all the wrinkles out of it, beautiful. So unlike the vinyl maps, it doesn't crease or anything like that. These things are great. So that's it. And then, the foliage and stuff here is basically just stuff that I got off of Amazon for aquarium stuff. And I basically just looked for purples and blues. So like this one here is purple. This one's a combination of purple and blue. This one here is just the blue color, right? And you can see the difference between them. It's the same basic product, but one of them's purple and one of them's blue. And when you set it together with this and you put it on that map, it looks quote unquote natural. It looks like it all belongs together and helps sell the experience. So basically, as the game master, you're just describing how much time has passed, or the feeling of timelessness, how it's so hard to track is passing. The sounds that they hear, the smell, like little rocks being disturbed, things like that bring out the paranoia. If you're playing Shadow Dark like I do, then you got to track those light sources. Of course, I've got that app, torchlighttimer.com, that I commissioned for creation, that's freely available. Anyone can use it if you're interested in tracking your torches for 1 hour or light spells for 1 hour. And there's all kinds of modifications you can do on there to pause it and lower the time or anything like that, or raise it back up again. That's completely free to use, torchlighttimer.com. But if you're playing Shadow Dark or any games where you need to track your lights to add to that drama, you can always use that. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave some comments below on what you think about this build, and I will see you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.